Hey, 0, episode 8 from New York City. How you doing? Hotel room. I got no headphones. I left them on a plane because I leave things on planes. So if you get a little bit of echo, I apologize in advance. My name is Brandon Davis. I'm your host today. We're working through a lot of MCU news. We got Aaron Perrine in the virtual building.
Hey, I'm walking here. What's
Oh,
going on?
that's what happened. I went to go get coffee this morning. That's exactly what happened. It's just as soon as you arrive in New York. Jenna Anderson is here.
Hey everybody! I half expected you'd be to just be like gabagool at some point. I wasn't sure how far you're gonna go with it.
Jamie Jirac is here.
Start spreading the news.
Hey.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. But it's going to be that kind of day. Whatever, we're having fun. I'm up in New York. I went to the Batman premiere last night. The movie is very good. Have you guys, any of you, Jenna, you saw Batman, right?
I've seen it twice. I watched it again last night at the IMAX thing.
And what'd you think of it?
Oh, I loved it. I was going to plug it at the end of the show. I'm so ready to not shut up about this movie for the foreseeable future. I absolutely loved it.
I mean, I definitely... I want to talk to you about it. I know this is a Marvel show, and Aaron and Jamie have not yet seen it, so we have to save some of it. So if you guys want to talk with us about it, go to Twitter, and Jamie and Aaron will be seeing the Batman this weekend, I'm sure, so we can all share our thoughts. It might be a Marvel show here, but we kind of just watch all of it too, so I don't know. Maybe we're not even allowed to talk about it here. Maybe we're already in trouble. I don't know who would get us in trouble, but whatever. It is Moon Knight month. I know it's Batman and Moon Knight, they're pretty much the same thing. They're both happening this month. Don't let Jim Viscardi know I said that. They're not the same thing. I'm just kidding. Don't clip that. Take it. It's a joke. It's a joke. All right. One's Marvel and one's DC. That's their difference. I'm also joking there. I look what happens. You send me up north and all hell breaks loose. But we also just have a lot of MCU news to talk about today. So I feel like maybe we should just get to that. First of all, Marvel's Netflix shows. They're coming to Disney Plus officially, and I'm pretty sure this is like universally, right? This is almost like it's in the U.S. now. Last week it was just some territories. Now it's pretty much everywhere, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. If it's not, I'm sure the comment section will let us know. But I do think Disney Plus is getting. That means Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and The Defenders are all going to be available on Disney Plus on March 16th. I think the obvious question here is, are they going to censor it? Because a lot of international territories have the Hotstar section where you can restrict adult content. There is nothing on Disney Plus, at least nothing that's coming to my mind. Some of the X-Men movies use the F word, but that's about it. There's nothing R-rated. There's nothing above PG-13 in any of the tabs on Disney Plus that I can think of. These are certainly not your kid-friendly Marvel characters. I'll be disappointed if things get removed. I mean, I also think you cut the run times of these shows to about a third if you remove all the adult content. So do you guys like...
They did say that they were adding like parental controls. Like they don't exist on Disney Plus now, but like when the shows get added, you can like you're kind of like defaulted to have to make parental control setups. So luckily then little children are not going to see, you know, Kingpin killing a guy with a car door and stuff. Because it's like, you cannot censor these shows at all.
What's the point if I don't get to watch Luke and Jessica do their thing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they broke the house down.
Like that's not. What's the point? That would be ridiculous. No, the parental controls exist for a reason. Every other platform survives. It's fine.
I think so. I think it's true. And I've said this on the show before, but every time Disney does something where they like push it or allow something to exist, we're all like, oh, I can't believe Disney did something so adult. But it's like they do every once in a while throw some stuff out there and they let it in. So I think, I didn't know about the parental control thing. That was news to me. I haven't dove in there yet, so that's good. That's good to know. It sounds like they're just going to exist as is. Adam Barnhart, resident Daredevil stan, best friend of Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, believes that the Marvel Studios should just pick up all of these where they left off. Does everybody agree with that?
Yes. I think before, like, before they were moving to Disney Plus, I could have made the argument for like, you can just make them variants, you can tell a different story but use the same actors. But like having them under the Disney Plus umbrella basically tells me like they know people like the way that these stories were told the first time around. I don't understand why you would go to great lengths to reboot them to then tell something similar. So I think now that they're all under the same umbrella, it's going to be canon in one way or another. We're just going to tell stories that we wouldn't have seen on the Netflix shows.
There is one thing though. Like, you can't get all these people back to replace it exactly the way it was. Like, as a animation fan, there's nothing worse than, if the fans support it enough, we'll bring it back for another season. And then you look up and all the storyboard artists and voice actors have 2 other projects in the pipeline that prevent us from getting season 3 or season 4 or whatever. I hear an audible sigh from all the Teen Titans fans out there and the like. So it would be nice, but I mean, unless everybody's just gonna drop whatever they're doing, like Charlie Cox is gonna blow a magical conch and everybody's gonna throw down what they're doing and run straight back to Atlanta to film more Daredevil, I don't know what's gonna happen,
I really don't see them continuing these shows. Maybe Daredevil, because it's the one that people are campaigning for. I mean, if you recall, a lot of those shows kind of teetered. Not all of them, but some of them. And I would like to see some of the casts come back and everything, but I really don't see them be like, we're continuing everything. Partly from what Aaron said, and partly because we say we want it, but do we really want it? I'm really stoked. Obviously, I'm all here for the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. portion of this news, but I don't want more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I want some of those actors to come back and to be around, but I don't want an 8th season of that. The shows need to end sometimes.
Unless they're lost, in which case they should just come back. But no, I agree. I don't see, like, based on the fact that we already had Kingpin come in and he just seemed so different. Like that didn't like, sure, he acted it the same way, but this Kingpin his skin was made of Kevlar. Like, was he bulletproof on the Netflix shows? Like, could he? Jenna, go ahead.
But also, it's been like 6 years between when Daredevil ended, when you take into account
What, did he just drink some milk?
He just has strong bones. I don't know.
On the dole from Big Dairy. What? How dare you?
I don't know. I mean, I think that they could just play it fast and loose and say like, well, if you know the Netflix shows, you might appreciate these references. If you don't watch they're not the Netflix shows anymore. They're the Disney Plus shows. But if you know like the Marvel TV shows before they were under Marvel Studios, you'll get some Easter eggs, you'll get some references and fulfillment, but also maybe they're variants and they have similar stories for the Marvel Studios versions. And I think Jamie's right. I think that but who knows? We'll see. I could be wrong, and I'm sure everybody will remind me if I am. I think time will tell based on where in the Disney Plus tab they are. So here's the only way that doesn't reveal this to us is if they just make like a adult-oriented tab or like something, whatever that's called, however they phrase it, and they put it there instead of like, because what if they put these in like phase 1 and phase 2 and phase 3? Then we're like, oh damn, that's in there. But if they just play it safe and pull like less family-friendly tab, and that's where all the Defenders are. It's like, well, you didn't answer our questions. All right, great. We got to wait for She-Hulk to find out more. Absolutely. All right, let's move on.
All right, well, so in news this week, the Doctor Strange Funko Pops came out, and we kind of got to see all of the characters that will be in that, including a new character who has not been in the trailers or in any of the marketing thus far. There's a character by the name of Sarah, who is a Black woman in like a purple magical outfit, kind of like the sorcerers, like the sorcerers wear. People are kind of trying to figure out who she's going to be because we haven't seen her in the marketing, and she must be significant enough in the movie to warrant a pop figure, even though we have no idea who this person is. So people think she could be Sarah Wolf, who is a magic adjacent character who once served as Stephen Strange's secretary and was also a love interest for Wong. And then her great grandfather was a shaman, but she was not a magic master herself, but she was kind of tied to that. They could find a way to kind of make that work within the MCU. And then there's also Sarah Mordo, who is Carl Mordo's mom, and she practiced magic magic, and we might just be building out Mordo's like family in that sort of way. She also wears purple in the comics, so there's a chance that could be her. What do y'all think? Because it's so weird. We always kind of get this of like, here's a random character revealed in a toy thing, but it feels like it hasn't happened in a while, and especially for something this big. So like, what do y'all think? How do you think she could fit into the movie?
If we're going based on one of these two options, I'd rather see Wong get a love interest. My boy Wong deserves to thrive, even though when stuff gets crazy, he's just like, y'all crazy, I'm out. Like,
yeah,
like y'all do thing, but I'm gonna just go chilling over here, $1.50 for a sandwich here. But I also think Carl Mordo. I'm hoping to see Baron Mordo be like a really big part of this one because I love the Strange and Mordo rivalry, and it's hard to imagine. Based on last time we saw, like in the Doctor Strange post-credit scene, Mordo was last seen going around consuming Wizard's powers to try to make himself more powerful. And it seems like we might just be getting away from that because I think plans have changed, but maybe we're not. I want to see that story factor in, but it seems like we're going to end up seeing like the Strange Supreme from What If, or like whatever version of that we're going to see that was doing what Mordo was doing. But if Mordo is going bad and getting too powerful and developing a rivalry with Strange, like, maybe his mom will be like the moral compass for him in the film, and that could be fun too.
It's so hard when you get these weird leaks out of context. Not even a leak, but just like product stuff out of context, because there's no way we're gonna know. This has big Dottie and WandaVision energy, where we're just gonna be guessing at it forever. Still hoping to see her in this movie too, if at all possible. I think it's probably. I think I'm on the other side. I think it's going to be Sarah Mordo. Like, I could totally see one of those weird Marvel levity in a moment that's kind of serious moments, where like the part where they're fighting and then he cuts the handcuffs in half on Strange, and then she just comes in like, both of you, chill. Like, total mom breaking up the fight between you two toddlers, so that the adults can talk, so her and Patrick Stewart can have tea and talk this out before you tear the universe further apart. So that would be my thing. That's why I guess.
I have no idea. And that's the Jamie Jirek way.
Yeah,
I love it.
I do like the idea of Wong getting a girl, though. Or a boy.
Can't you at least support Wong finding love?
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with that. The man deserves.
Also, Jim is in the comments, and like, I need to point this out too because it drove me crazy. There is one pop of Strange where he is like clean shaven, and it is, even in Funko form, which is like so simple, it is the most unsettling thing ever. Like, it doesn't feel right at all. It just feels like he's way too smooth in that Funko Pop, and I'm already dreading seeing him clean shaven in the movie because it doesn't fit.
Then it's just Benadryl cucumber snatch. It's just not even Doctor Strange anymore.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I just think of things and I just have to put them in the show. I don't know why they allow me to do this still. Let's keep it going here.
Okay. One last thing. We're all not going to be satisfied until they give Wong his own like lip sync battle karaoke style thing on Disney Plus with all the actors popping in to do that. So we got Patrick Stewart also still trying to dodge raindrops about these Doctor Strange 2 rumors. He talked to Jake Hamilton about like the trailer and the speculation, and basically he's just given up on trying to keep the secrets or deny or like sort of substantiate any of it. He said Professor X would be extraordinarily cautious and watchful, and perhaps feel a little insecure because there is something that is potentially dangerous about this man. I think that would put Professor Xavier on guard. And then he's like, I actually didn't recognize my own voice. It sounded different. Whether I had a cold or something at the time, I don't know. He like laughed. And then I was astonished, and all they saw was the back of my shoulder and I think my earlobe, nothing else. That there would be so many connections made, but it pleased me to see the reactions. So we got, all of us who do theories remarking on the shape of his head and getting into some weird, rhetorical waters, trying to figure out if this is really Professor X. But it seems like he's just given up because he got asked last week, what about, is that your voice? And he's like, who's Doctor Strange? And we've gotten from who's Doctor Strange to, yeah, that was the back of my head in a week.
That only took 1 week.
I don't understand any of this in terms of like, that was Patrick Stewart in that trailer. Yeah. I mean, there's no, like, we know that. That's his voice. That was him. And I don't really understand why they're like trying to be coy about it. It's not like it was a leak. You put it in the trailer, guys. Why are we like it? This is fun, and I like watching Patrick Stewart play the Garfield game because I adore Patrick Stewart, and it's fun. This whole thing is enjoyable, but it's also weird. I don't get why they're doing it this way when it's like, what was their purpose then? Are they just trying to drive us, like, make us think we're crazy? This is the madness.
This man has gone from Andrew Garfield to Alfred Molina in the span of like a week. He has gone from like, oh, that's not me, it's a Photoshop, that's not me at all, to now it's like, oh yeah, screw your NDA, I am going to basically admit that this is me. So it's like now even more confusing. Again, I am dreading when we get to Secret Wars, and anyone who has ever even been in the background of a Marvel movie is going to have to play this game, and the three-dimensional chess is just going to be wild if it's already at this point where Patrick Stewart is having to make comments like this. It's going to be insane.
I think it's hilarious that it happened so fast. Like he's just at that point. It's interesting, but great job by Jake Hamilton. I'm friends with Jake. I want to shout him out by getting that bit. He texted me immediately after the interview. He's like, dude, I think I just got Patrick Stewart to confirm. And I was like, dude, we know it's him, but I'm happy for you. Like, let's see the clip. And so naturally, good job, Jake. That has gone everywhere. Yeah, you think Sir Pat Stew's Charles survives this movie?
Absolutely not.
Not a chance, right? Like,
no.
He's like, I don't, him and Coulson are really in a rivalry for who's dying more.
I mean, my God.
That is also incredibly on brand for Charles Xavier, for like comic canon Charles Xavier to just constantly be dying in every available opportunity. So I'm like, it has to happen in this. He is not long for this world. We also had such a perfect death in Logan that like, just give me something that is completely different in this movie, but also kill him off.
I want to say before he tries to break Tony Stark's record in What If season 2 of getting killed every episode. He would get killed at every episode of What If season 2.
Oh my God.
I'm saying it now.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite scenes from all the X-Men movies, it's no secret, I love X-Men Days of Future Past. I don't think that's a hot take. I think that is, if you think that movie's bad, I'm not one to tell you your opinion's wrong, but you're wrong on that one. So the scene where McAvoy and Stewart are talking to like themselves, basically, they're Adam projecting it. And I think it's McAvoy who's like, I don't want your pain. I don't want your future. I don't want your suffering. And I think that's a really powerful scene. It's in every trailer. And I think that I want to see a version of that. I think that you can have the same kind of cool emotional moment and build, and also a huge revelation, because this Professor X has probably seen so much ish in the multiverse that he can explain to Wanda the paths that she can go down and who she really is, like in the multiverse, and how she might be related to Magneto. And she could be like, I don't want it. I don't want to, like something like that. Like that. I think there could be a cool sequence, because I don't think we're going to get Magneto in this movie, but I think there could be a really cool sequence with Professor X and Wanda, and we find out about mutants, and it could be a really powerful, revealing scene, but also super emotional. And I'm here for that, but I didn't write the movie. I should have, but anyway.
Oh gosh. What's next? You guys, Secret Invasion just keeps casting people that I'm excited about. And the latest is Dermot Mulroney. And I need all of you listening to know that your host, Brandon Davis, the one thing he put under Dermot's name is Jessica Day's ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yes. This man was in 8 episodes of New Girls, but he has
and
over
they were
100.
great.
Yeah, he's good on that show, but he has over 130 acting credits to his name.
Wow.
Most notably in my best friend's wedding, The Family Stone. He's a rom-com maven, and he's playing the president. I think this is a perfect role for him, because he's very much got that attitude. Also, a fun fact about him that you might not know is that he played the cello on the Rogue One soundtrack.
What?
Yeah, wow. Isn't that wild? Yeah, he's a man of multitude, and I'm excited that he's going to be in Secret Invasion. And I don't know, we haven't had a president in a while. I don't know who's been running the MCU's America.
What a job that would be.
I know. We had Ellis, who was in Iron Man 3 and in a couple episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But what do you guys think that this might mean for the future? Because I believe that he was seen with Rhodey. So could this be we might be seeing him in Armor Wars? What do you guys think?
That man is a Skrull. I'm saying it now. The president of the United States is fully a Skrull.
Yeah.
Right.
I was excited at the idea of like getting a somewhat recurring president character who could like play into Armor Wars and play into Secret Invasion, but now I'm like, yeah, he's probably a Skrull. He's not long for this world. That's a bummer. But I'm excited that it's him. Like that's a very cool get. And I agree. He has big president energy for the MCU.
If he is a Skrull, you could still have Dermot Mulroney in Armor Wars and in the future of the MCU. You just got to get the Skrull out and then put the real guy, the real President Ritson, as this newspaper points out. I want to point out Comicbook.com squeezed 3 articles out of this one Instagram post. So I got to shout out the editorial team for getting the traffic there. One was about the president, one was about Rhodey being in it, and one was about the Rogers the Musical tag, saying it was a Hawkeye connection. So props to the editorial team for keeping the lights on and getting the bills paid and making 3 articles out of that one Instagram post.
I will only substantiate this Skrull theory if they open a closet or whatever, wherever they hid the real president, and it's Dylan McDermott. The only way it can work. You got me if that happens.
Perfect.
Oh, man. Well, we'll find out whenever, who knows when Secret Invasion is coming. Presumably not this year, I think. But I don't know. Maybe I don't think it's this year. Maybe it's.
I think we started this year thinking that, and then it seems like a no, which is a bummer because it's one of my tops.
We only have so many weeks left in the year for all of the shows.
It's already March.
To come out. Exactly. Yeah.
Like what?
2-year pandemic anniversary, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my God! 2 years ago, we were all like, "Is this going to affect us? Are we going to have to stay home?" Oh my God! Here we are. So great. Oh, God. All right. Andrew Garfield says he has no plans to play Spider-Man again. Quote to Variety, "No plans. That's the truth. Everyone's going to call me a liar for the rest of my life. I'm the boy who cried wolf. Andrew, you're a liar. I think you're in Morbius." Yeah, no, I mean, this is obviously like, come on. Like, maybe he's telling the truth in a sense of like, the paperwork hasn't been signed yet. But, like, he's going to play Spider-Man again. They all are. There's no way there is a way, obviously, but not in my headcanon, that they don't all play Spider-Man again. Sony has its Avengers now. Like, on making Spider-Man ensembles is Prince money. So no matter how big the dump truck is, back it into Garfield's driveway, back it into Toby's driveway, back it into Holland's driveway, dump all the cash out, get them back, and get them as paid as they should be to be in these things. And I think Andrew Garfield's going to play Spider-Man again. I think we're going to see a whole Spider-Man universe from Sony with Andrew Garfield as the Spider-Man.
There's too much money.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about it.
Go, Jamie. Go.
Tell
us about it.
I just feel like I don't think that this was a plan for them. I think that they planned to have them cameo or have these big roles in No Way Home, and now that the internet's like losing their minds and all of a sudden having this resurgence for Andrew, that they want it, and there's a chance it could happen. But if it is happening, I don't think they're deep enough into it. I would be surprised if he showed up in Morbius. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. And also, I'm sorry, but Andrew Garfield, he's an Oscar nominee. He's got he's got a career of things that, not that, you know what I mean.
Jamie
I'm sure he has
is
time
just
to
said that Marvel movies are not cinema.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. And you know what? You can quote me on it because I hate Marvel. I do this podcast. I get up an hour early to do this podcast just to come in here and tell you all that you all are wasting your life.
Jamie has the Irishman tattooed on her shoulder. She covered the Scarlet Witch tattoo with the Irishman.
It's
Wow. Unbelievable.
Ooh, Lord.
I think you're right, though. I don't think this was the plan. I think you made a good point that nobody has really pointed out yet, or at least I haven't heard it, that I don't think this was the plan. But I do think that No Way Home was such a hit, and the response to Andrew Garfield was so insane that I'm sure Sony is just like, they're calling Andrew's agent every day saying, what's he doing today? Can he film something? Can we start? We'll write it as we go. Let's just start filming. And I think Morbius has a really crazy post-credit scene, and I won't be surprised if it has Andrew Garfield in it, but I do know it's going to have a good post-credit scene.
Yeah, I agree with what Jamie said, though. It's like Andrew Garfield as a actor is only going to get busier. So it is this thing of, even if he's not necessarily in a Spider-Man movie every year or 18 months or whatever, it's like we probably are going to see more of him. Like, we know we're seeing him in Toby. We know if we eventually build the Secret Wars, they are going to probably play a huge part in that. So it is this thing of like, I still expect him to come back. It just won't be as fully fledged as it probably could be, because it's like, yeah, he has so much going on right now.
Jamie, just like all of us, you gonna mark out when they announce the Amazing Spider-Man 3 Turn Out the Dark, and it's him singing for 2 hours. We're gonna be in on it, right? Yeah, look at Jamie. She can't even handle
You know, I saw that on Broadway when it came out.
Oh,
You know, I went to New York specifically to see that, and
I'm so jealous.
Oh my god, if that happened, that's actually a beautiful idea. I'm a Marvel fan again. I hated Marvel. But I'm back.
Oh my god! All right. Well, now we got to talk about Jenna and Jamie's favorite topic of the day: the fact that there has been a new Morbius trailer released. The final trailer for the movie dropped on Monday morning. We wanted a Thor trailer. We got Morbius. And I stand by it. I think this movie it looks good. I don't know if it's going to be good. I like the trailers for this movie. I'm excited to see it. So I'm just. Has either of your any opinions changed yet with the final trailer?
I laughed at the Lost Boys joke, and that was a positive reaction that I had to it.
Jamie's out here giving out participation trophies to Morbius.
My most positive thing is that like each trailer keeps giving me progressively more Matt Smith. It's like, here's like 1 crumb of Matt Smith, here's 2 crumbs of Matt Smith. Oh, we actually got him like speaking a line of dialogue in this trailer. It was like, ooh, wow, oh my gosh. But yeah, I know I will probably find something positive in this movie. I just don't know what it is yet. I don't know.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton talks quite a bit in this trailer. He seems to be the angel on the shoulder, which is strange. I don't know if this is just a trailer edit to make us think that, but it certainly seems to be a continuation of Adrian Toomes. They're playing fast and loose with the MCU. I think it's a variant because I don't know. I don't know. That's what we've talked about that a million times on the show. I'm tired of that question. Is it in the MCU? Is it in a different universe that's adjacent to the MCU? Because I know Kofi in the comments will tell me it's all canon in the multiverse, MCU, and then there's the MCM. So anyway,
just tell us.
I agree. I fully agree.
End our suffering.
Yeah.
If you ask Tyrese, yes. If you ask Tony, no. So that's where we're at. Nobody really knows. I think that they just know that if they say it's not directly part of the Avengers universe and it's not canon to that universe, it makes less money. Like, they just know that. So they know what they're doing. But it's still like they're obviously bringing in Adrian Toomes and Michael Keaton, Vulture. So I don't know, but Vulture seems to be like the angel on the shoulder. He also posted a photo on Instagram this week that he was going to do some more Toomes work. I'm assuming it's just probably ADR or promo work for Morbius, but I don't know what else it could possibly be. Like, there's no project on the Marvel release schedule that seems like it would have Michael Keaton going back to work, right?
No.
Unless he's the villain and turn off the dark.
I want to take a quick side to say that if you guys did not watch his SAG speech this week, to go Google it and watch it, because that man is a precious gem and we need to protect him at all costs. And it was a beautiful speech. And it was also it was funny because he was late because he was in the bathroom. I just love him so much, and he deserved that award. Dope Sick wasn't for me, but he was amazing in it.
Nice.
If someone in our audience could please Photoshop either Jenna or Jamie's head onto Bart Simpson with the cake that says, "At least you tried," in preparation for the release of this movie, that would be great. Thank y'all.
Perfect.
Wow.
I'm just happy Michael Keaton is so busy. Like, between being Batman again, like him filming Batgirl this last week made me super happy. Like, winning SAG awards, it's like that man is booked, and I'm very happy for him.
I can't wait to see the energy here when we get like the director on the podcast. I can't wait to see who wants to do that interview and how y'all talk to him. All right.
Maybe I love it.
Anything better? I had it ranked. I had it ranked just as high as you did, Brandon. We're in this together. We are on this trip together, bud. If it's not good, we're both gonna be looking like, oh no.
I'll be happy if it's good. I want to like the vampire movie.
All right, we're gonna talk more about vampires in a second. We got to take a 1 minute break. We're going crazy today, so we're a little bit more about Morbius. Then we're gonna talk about Ironheart and Deadpool 3. I did talk to Ryan Reynolds this week, so that's all. I gotta hook you with that before the ad break. So we'll talk to you in just a minute. I do want to shout out Peter, who's new to the gang here at Comicbook.com, who made that photo for today's show, which has Daredevil wearing Mickey ears, blood. That's how I imagine Mickey when. That's how Kevin Feige goes when somebody spoils something. He puts on Mickey ears. Never enough.
Just watching the chat experience that thumbnail was so relatable. So good.
Peter's thumbnail getting love in the comments as it should.
Oh my god!
So built this thumbnail in a cave with a box of scraps. Oh man! Oh, what a day we're having in New York. All right, we're gonna go back to Morbius trailer. The other thing I really wanted to talk about was Matt Smith. He had some lines. I think this is the first time we've heard Matt Smith talk in any Morbius content. Jamie, are you like a Doctor Who? Are you a Matt Smith fan? No,
I'm not. It's more of a Jenna thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm on the Matt Smith fan train, I guess.
Okay.
I like Matt Smith. I just don't watch Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
He's not cinema. Matt Smith.
I like The Crown.
So Vulture, we said I say is seeming like the angel on Morbius' shoulder. Matt Smith as his name's Milo, I think, in the movie, but he's going to be Hunger, I believe, is what he's reported to be playing. It was another villain. He seems to be the devil on the shoulder. Hunger, if you're not familiar, just for everybody who might not have read all the Morbius comics, is a villain who obsessed with gaining power. That's the name Hunger right there. He could do that by absorbing power. Like there in the comics, one of his first bits is like he wants to blow up like a super energy generator and all the scientists with it, or he threatens to, but secretly he wants to because that's how he gets more power. He just absorbs it. So he can also turn people into vampires by biting them. Classic vampire trope going to come into play. So it's interesting to see that Morbius has in my opinion, has a talented cast, a story that it looks like it has really cool action sequences. It's going to be dark. It's going to be maybe a little as violent as it could be. I don't know. I don't trust the violent, scary stuff after Carnage and Venom. And they said, oh, we're pushing it. And they really didn't. Batman pushes it. Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage did not. So we'll see if Morbius can hold up. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got from Morbius. Tyrese cracking jokes at the end, asking questions like what universe are we in. So that's it. Morbius looks good to me, and I think that's all we have to say about it because I'm the only one who cares.
Just for the next month, BD is just gonna be like, Morbius looks good. I think Morbius looks good, guys. Like he's gonna have to be apologizing for it because.
Do you understand the risk I am taking? Okay, because Morbius might suck. I don't know, and I know that. But I think the trailers have been enough to make me want to see the movie. And I'll be honest, after I see it, if it's trash, I'll tell you it's trash. If it's good, I'll tell you it's good. I probably won't use the word trash, but I'll be honest and tell you what I think of it. We'll be out here talking about Morbius Phase Zero.
Richard,
I'm excited.
We gotta get BD like a hilarious WrestleMania style intro if it ends up being good. If it ends up being good, dude, give us
yeah. Every time Brandon stuck up for Morbius, and then it's gonna be Cinema 2022. It's gonna be Oscars going to Morbius.
If it is bad, I'm gonna send Brandon one of my Twilight shirts so that he has to admit that Twilight is way better.
Wow.
I just rewatched all the Twilights, so I'm right there with you. My expectations for vampire movies are very specific at this point. So,
listen, I love all genre of vampire movies, so I hope I like this one.
There you go. Look at you, not being Zoe Kravitz. Look at you. Good job.
How dare she?
That was so good.
I watched that interview like 7 times.
That's so 2010. Like, who wants to be a hater? Like, he's so upset. He's like, yo, I worked hard on that. Mm-hmm. Look at me. I'm gorgeous. How dare you?
All right.
Perfect.
We got some Ironheart news.
Yeah, so Ironheart has added Lyric Ross, who is best known for appearing in This Is Us, to the cast. They won't say specifically who she's playing, but they said that she is playing Riri's best friend. I was talking with Aaron about this when the casting was initially announced. There's a couple different options for who she could possibly be. My biggest guess is that she could be playing a girl named Natalie, who is like Riri's neighbor. I'm very curious how they would adapt her in the comics, if so, because there's a whole thing in the comics about how she dies because of gun violence and then kind of becomes the inspiration for Riri's Jarvis, essentially. Like she becomes like the physical manifestation of her AI. So I could see them maybe doing that and like really leaning on the emotional moment of it all, or it could just be like she is her very human best friend who is very alive the entire time and will not have anything bad happen to her. So that's kind of my hope. But yeah, so there's that. And then the report about her casting also said that Anthony Ramos is playing the villain. I still am on my mindset that he's playing the Hood because that would make sense to have him appear in Ironheart and then appear in future MCU things as we established. So what do y'all think about this new casting and about Ramos definitely playing the villain?
I mean, I would like her to remain alive as well. Uncontroversial statement as it may be. I do enjoy, and I hope we get this at some point because everybody has a person in the chair now. Like every single one of these heroes has someone in a chair, and I need all the people in the chair to be together in one of these things together because that means we get more Kat Dennings. That means we get more. All the like supporting cast members need to have a moment in the sun too. So I don't want to see her just be like the Jarvis voice inside of Riri's helmet. That would be a little bit rough. Especially if it goes down like just talking about. And I think we are definitely getting to the point where Anthony Ramos is going to be the Hood. His eventual day of being enshrined on the Wheel of Evil in the Phase 4 section of the Wheel of Evil, which is still coming to this podcast at some point when I can get to that, get Jim to write off all the lumber I'm going to need to build the Wheel of Evil.
Perfect.
All I know about Anthony Ramos is that we've got another singer in the midst. Yep. We're getting us one step closer to this musical.
We already got the musical.
Mm-hmm. Not like that, though.
What? No.
I'll take anything but a musical post-credit scene at this point, to be honest.
You already know that I think you're so wrong about it.
Ooh.
And I will say it one more time, it's better than a trailer that's going to be released a week later on the internet.
No. I can't agree with you on that. I respect you, but I disagree.
Right.
Gosh,
right.
That was
disagree.
Ironheart. I didn't watch This Is Us. I'm not super familiar with Lyric Ross, but based on the reaction I've seen on people being so excited she was cast, I do hope it's a big role because people were pretty fired up to see her, and I think that just speaks to her talent and the people she's reaching and impacting. So I think that it'd be cool to see her get a big role. I read the Ironheart, like the first Ironheart comics, and I'm trying to remember. I had a character, I forget who it was, but I had a character I thought she might be playing, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But I love that first comic. I think it's so good. I don't think we're going to get like the Tony Stark and Pepper Potts and all that kind of stuff in there. But it would be cool to see Ironheart end up in like a leftover Hall of Armor and kind of like geeking out over the suits and stuff and showing how she's smarter than what Tony was and what she can do. So we'll see. But what are Aaron and Jen out here laughing?
I'm laughing at Aaron laughing. I just want to hear whatever he has to say.
I just want to know how much they would have to pay Gwen to show up and remember that she's in something. How much would you have to pay? Because she's still around. She could technically be in the background to like help finance this whole thing.
We weren't in Ironheart. We were in the scene with the suits.
Do you think she remembers that Uber Eats commercial she did for the Super Bowl? Because I'll never forget it.
Slander.
I saw a tweet after the Peacemaker finale that was like, you could pay Ezra Miller like a box of fruit snacks and like $5 to appear in the Batwheels animated show, and they would absolutely do it. And I feel like Gwyneth is the opposite. Like Gwyneth will just have to accidentally stumble into an MCU thing in order to be in it again. Like she is not voluntarily gonna show up again. I don't think we can.
They're filming at a farmer's market and she just wanders into frame and it's like, oh, can you do line read for us real quick?
Do you want some Pepper Potts? Okay.
I want to say that we poke fun at her, but I love her as Pepper Potts. I love Shakespeare. I think she's a good actor. I really do. Mm-hmm. It's just fun to poke fun at her. But I do want to say I am a Gwyneth fan. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be too mean because I am going to keep making jokes, but I do want it also to be known that I like her as her performances.
I'm with you. I just think that clip is hilarious from the cooking show. And so it's just when there's a meme, we're going to meme. You know what I mean?
Memes are going to memes it.
You know what I mean? And as for Anthony Ramos, I think Hood, I want him to have a big part. I think he's super talented. And I think he's a nice guy from the interviews I've watched with him. I've never interviewed him myself. I have interviewed Dermot Mulroney, Jamie, by the way. Yesterday's ex-boyfriend. One time for Insidious. Insidious Chapter 3. And I got to dig up that interview because I bet you that was like back in my early days where like I took every interview I ever did ever. I'd say like, what superhero would you want to play? And I'm pretty sure he said like, I'd do this or something. I don't remember, but it wasn't president of the Marvel Universe. All right, last thing today. The Adam Project, which hits Netflix on March 11th. I love this film. Jamie, you're watching it this week, I think.
I hope so. I've been writing about this.
Jamie's writing the review, but I don't know. The review copies are going out later or something. I don't know. This was for the interview purposes that I got to see it. I'm not writing the review. I wrote my Twitter review, my reaction, and I think the Adam Project is brilliant. By the way, and I just want to say that here because I think the movie is so much fun. It's very much like it has like 80s like Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, E.T. type of vibes. But it also has like modern, it also has like Star Wars type vibes, but it also has like modern touches and like VFX and all kinds of.
I just need one moment between Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo, and it's going to be my favorite movie. That's all I need.
That movie is going to make people sob. Like it has like Good Will Hunting vibes too. Wow. It's so good. It's so good. I love that movie. And call me crazy if you don't like it, but I loved it. And I got to talk to Ryan Reynolds about it and Sean Levy. But of course, those interviews will be on the Comicbook.com YouTube channel next week, closer to the movie's release. But I'm just going to spoil a little bit here for you in advance. Phase 0 exclusive, I guess. But I asked Ryan about Deadpool, and he gave the same, write an email to Kevin Feige type thing. But I said, because Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, is the one who introduced Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy, who did Free Guy and now the Adam Project together. So I, of course, found that as my, let me transition this, seed this together so I can bring up Deadpool and Wolverine. And I said, how do we get you and Hugh and Sean together for Deadpool 3? Like, can we make that happen? And he said he'd love to. So I'm sure there will be the headline on comicbook.com that, he wants to in one way or another. But yeah, he gave a fun answer about that, how much he'd love to do it. And I also asked Sean Levy about getting Hugh and Ryan together. And I think I said at the Free Guy junket, because I really liked Free Guy too. I was like, dude, you should do Deadpool 3. And then at this one, I was just like, dude, like, have you guys talked about it? Like, what's going on? And he was just like, he said he'd love to too. And he also said that his idea for a Marvel movie would be like a Spider-Man that saves money on VFX, because as a kid, he used to put his underwear over his own head and say that he was Spider-Man. So he thinks they could save some budget dollars there. But you guys all saw Free Guy, right?
Not yet. I've been meaning to.
Jenna.
I was waiting until it was on streaming. So, and now that it is, I'm definitely going to watch it soon.
I love Free Guy. I love Free Guy, but I like the Adam Project even more. And I'm really excited for it. I want to talk about the movie so badly. But yeah, anyway. So I don't really know. Like Sean Lee, also known for Stranger Things. Am I crazy for thinking that man could helm Deadpool?
I don't see why not. I mean, like, I'm not saying. I mean, I'm a big Stranger Things fan. I liked Free Guy. He seems like a competent person. I'm sure he could direct a Deadpool movie. It's not, I think Deadpool is, when it comes to Deadpool, the writing is a little more important because it's about the humor and hitting those beats and stuff. I don't think it'd be like the biggest challenge in the world. I think he'd be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that happens. I think he does. I love seeing him and Ryan's work together through 2 movies. So I'm here for Deadpool 3.
Brandon.
Yo.
Did you ask him about Real Steel 2?
Man, I had to choose because I had the message wrap up one more question. And I think I said, I think my question was like, do you have a plan to get Ryan and Hugh in a movie together? Oh, this is what happened. Actually, this is the scoop. I said, do you have a plan to get Ryan and Hugh together? And could it be Deadpool 3? Like, will you direct it? And he said, I can't say what, but I'll tell you right now, I do have a plan to put Ryan and Hugh in the same movie. That's a paraphrasing. I haven't listened back to the interview yet, but he has a plan to put Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds in the same film. And I said, oh, it could be Real Steel 2. And I was hoping he'd be like, take it so I could get my one more question and that not be it. But then I was like, awkward pause. Okay, to my last question. So I did not hear about Real Steel 2. That's tragic. I wish that I did. I wasted it by asking him my beginner question of superhero movies. Wow, it comes full circle.
I tortured myself this week and I watched X-Men Origins Wolverine again because I'm just going through the X-Men movies again let them work together, please. Let them do something so that I don't have to keep watching that movie to get some kind of fix. That's like pure torture.
For someone who hates Marvel, you really got a lot of investment because that is the real fandom you're talking about.
The last time I've seen this movie 3 times in theaters and right before Dark Phoenix came out. And before Dark Phoenix came out, I watched it and I said to myself, great, these movies are done. I never have to watch this ever again. And then Patrick Stewart showed up in that trailer and I'm like, I guess I got to watch that movie again. I don't know why that was how my brain works. But I did watch First Class last night and I stand by it's one of the best movies ever made.
Dark Phoenix is like the most harmless, simultaneously forgettable movie I've ever seen in my life.
Harmless is the wrong word when talking to me because it offends me more than X-Men. Well, Origins is worse, but Dark Phoenix offends me more than any Marvel movies have ever offended me.
Is it because Ty had to use the F word just so randomly and out of place? Is that?
No, it's because they said, you know what? You know who'd be a good person to direct Dark Phoenix? The same guy who wrote X-Men: The Last Stand. Isn't that a good idea? Let's give him another shot. That's why. And I'm sorry, but the whole you're gonna use Dark Phoenix's story, and then it's all about how it affects the men in her life. Let a woman direct it. Okay, I'm not gonna go on this rant again about Dark Phoenix, but I do think it's the most offensive movie.
But I don't know that I'd love to, just out of my own curiosity, I guess, because curiosity always kills this cat. But I remember they did an interview, and it was on Real Blend with Jake and Sean O'Connell and Kevin McCarthy, and I think it was Ty. It might have been Simon. But they talked about how they had such a different third act for that film, where essentially Skrulls had infiltrated the UN. And they had to reshoot the whole thing. And I remember that came out, I think, right around the time of Captain Marvel. And I think that they just threw that movie away and reshot it so that they wouldn't have Skrulls, so that Jessica Chastain would have a really weird alien name, and they would just play these weird shapeshifters. And it just butchered the film from whatever it was going to be. And it never really had a chance once Disney bought Fox.
I interviewed Jessica for the 355 and I asked her about Marvel and stuff. And she made a comment that was like, oh yeah, I'd love to play a character that exists in the comics. And you could by the way she said it, it was like, oh girl.
Yo.
Agreed.
You blame
girl.
No, not at all.
And she's cool. Jessica Chastain, from everything I've seen of her, seems like a super cool, actually cares about this stuff.
She was a lovely interview. I mean, she was just so much energy. She was excited. I wish I liked the movie more. I wanted to like the movie more because of how excited she was about it. I really liked talking to her.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, I guess that is going to wrap us up for today's show. Be on the lookout for those interviews. Please be on the lookout for some Batman interviews from the red carpet, which was last night in New York. And I think we're still rolling out some junket interviews from Batman on the Comicbook.com YouTube channel. I can't say that. Never mind. I almost said we have some Phase Zero plans, and there's some cool stuff coming from Phase Zero that I don't think I can announce yet because I don't even think it's official, but it's cool stuff coming. So anyway, yeah, one day everything cool will happen. And Jenna, any party words for today's show?
Just go read some comics. Follow me on Twitter at @HeyIt'sJennaLyn, and go see the Batman this weekend. Like, please go see it. I already have my tickets booked to see it again for a third time on Saturday, and I am so excited. So please go see the Batman. Yeah, highly recommend tuning into Comic Book Nation if you're looking for a place to hear some Batman thoughts from some people who know. That's on this same Twitch channel on Fridays. It's also available on all major podcast platforms. So give that a listen after you see it, because I do believe they're probably going to talk full spoilers this Friday. Aaron, any party words today?
It's at Something Like Hornet, and at the will of the chat, what fish was it, Brandon?
Can I tell you something? My soul left my body when Jason Momoa walked away from me. Left my body. I was like, man, lesson learned here. Ask the joke question last. But thank you to Jason Momoa for playing along and being a good sport. He's a good dude. I wouldn't have done that had I never talked to Jason Momoa before and known he's like a good sport and a chill dude. And he laughed, so I feel okay. But I also was like, damn, I didn't get like Aquaman 2 info at all. I just got a good little TikTok clip, which, you know, it is what it is. What kind of fish was it? Jamie, any party words?
Parting words. Follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd, Jamie Cinematics. If you've seen like Batman 10 times already and you're like, what else should I go see in theaters? I saw Cyrano last weekend and I loved it so much. It's my favorite first time watch of the year so far. I couldn't tell you the last time I cried so hard during a movie. So that is my movie recommendation for you.
All right, there it is. All right, y'all. Hit me up at Brandon Davis PD if you want to talk more over the course of the next week. Let us know what you think of the Batman, because we're a Marvel show, but we still like DC, believe it or not. I know that's insane. We just don't really talk about it here because we're Marvel, I guess. So Comic Book Nation this Friday. Phase Zero a week from today. I think we're going to have some cool Moon Knight and Morbius stuff coming as well. So be on the lookout for announcements. And that's not what I almost slipped. So that's just different. All right. Talk to you later.